The Summopedias are a set of books published by Lifewonders which contain extra information and art of different Housamo characters. And I have all 4, and a scanner. So let's have a look through all 4 Summopedias. First, let's go over basic information using Housamo as our subject. Starting from the first page, the top bar shows the character's name, title, voice actor, and designer. Below is a quote from a character, the height, weight and summer date, and CS. And finally, there's character expressions and main units. The next page starts with extra character art and drawing references. Below that is general character information and trivia. Below that is information on the character's sacred artifact. And with that, we can finally start looking through the Summopedias. Fun fact, the blue cover of the Summopedias is just a sleeve, so each cover has a unique front and back illustration. The front illustration is of Oniwaka, and the back illustration is of Sea-Tree. Let's start with a 2-in-1, the protagonist and Lil Solomon. These two don't have any extra art, but have some information about the characters. The protagonist trivia states that they're a second year at Shinjuku Academy, and that their artifact works outside the app. Can't remember if it said in the game, but it is some pretty cool info. The artifact section only tells us information we know, like the protag being able to sever bonds and gravity. Lil Solomon's page doesn't state his height, weight or summon date, and his artifact section states nothing too. His trivia section does mention only people with split consciousnesses or souls can view him, including the protagonist, Snow, Dead, and presumably Mononobe. Next up, it's Moritaka. He's 162 centimeters, 75 kg, and his summon date is the 19th of August. His art shows his peony mark, scar locations, and some other design details. He is also a very baby. His trivia mentions that he's a second year in Shinjuku Academy, he has an affinity towards cross-dressers due to being raised by a woman, and stroking his head calms him down. What did I say? He's literally baby. He's literally baby. Next up is Batham. No need to thank me, babe. He's 185 centimeters, 99 kg, and his summon date is the 8th of January. Batham's art shows a front view of himself, which we barely get to see in game. It also shows Batham's fighting gear in more detail, and a cute little illustration of him calming Tail-chan. His trivia states that his fighting style mostly uses kicks in his tail. He's into plants and gemstones, just like me for real. And most interestingly, he's a descendant of a family that was worshipped in a now destroyed world, and some of the memories of the world were transferred to Gehenna. Probably a deeper origin of a fact based on Batham's source material, but I'm not a nerd, that's Fury's job. Anyways, onto his sacred artifact. His artifact is Tail-chan, and his kicking style was developed just to show him off. Very Batham. Next is the puppy himself, Gami. He's 161 centimeters, 63 kg, and his summon date is the 20th of March. His art is perfect. I have nothing else to say about it. He's just baby. He is so baby. His trivia mentions his place as a student in Bukuro Academy, his love for being bossed around and commanded, and his origins as a weapon of war, which was mentioned in one of the early chapters of the game. His artifact, his chains, were given to him by the Queen of Helheim, which was once again mentioned early on in the game. He acts as a living coil gun, using his life force to shoot himself at targets with extreme speed. He's also baby. Now on to something a little different. At the end of each Summopedia is a glossary, which is just a bunch of information about parts of the world of Housamo. And I won't go into much depth in any of them, but I will say what they mention. This volume's glossary includes info on Tokyo itself, the app, guilds, artifacts, stray transients, summoning, rules and roles, and some of the academies. There's also some comics at the end. I don't know what to say about them, they're cute. Now, onto volume 2 of the Summopedias, starting with a front and back illustration. Front illustration is of Sofogua, best character, and Hanuman, and the back illustration is of Typhon. Let's start with Realtor. He's 165 centimeters, 106 kilograms, and his summon day, birthday, is the 8th of April. His art shows off his artifact, his summon emblem, and other details. And there's a look of his little fella. His trivia mentions his inability to cook despite his love for food, and that he's very nosy. His artifact is the Cum Chalice, the Holy Grail. If you played the game, you know what he does. Not much to talk about here, but that's because he's the main character. Next up is Nyarlathotep. He's supposedly 170 centimeters and 70 kg, but his summon date is definitely the 29th of February, which is a leap day that happens every 4 years. And it's just very now. His art shows off smaller details of his design, including his headphones and jewelry, his artifacts, and his true form? Hot. His trivia mentions his occupation as a DJ, him being a member of multiple guilds, more than just the missionaries and the entertainers, his apparent fear of Kafuga, and that he says fuck. That's right! Now says fuck! His artifact is rock! It's carved out of Azathoth's throne and can make money else. That's it. Also, he can like warp reality according to his bio in game. Pretty cool. Next up is the best character, Summopedias. He's 230 centimeters. God damn! 286 kilograms. God damn! And his summon day is the 16th of June. God damn! His art shows him getting his ears cleaned, getting showered and blow dried, and him being carried around. It also shows his artifact, his cute expression, and his massive ass. His trivia mentions him being a 3rd year at Roppongi Academy and that he can teleport. It also mentions his old roommate, who I can't remember the name of for the life of me. His artifact is described as a pot-like mass of mucus. Weird. The pot is full of his goo minions, the formless spawn. Next up is Ashigara. He's 220 centimeters, 272 kilograms, and his summon day is the 11th of January. His art shows off his massive ass. That's basically it. So look at his little fella. His trivia mentions his love of sumo, his place as a 3rd year in Yoyogi Academy, and his stubborn personality. His artifact is Shiminawa, a type of rope which, according to Google Translate, physically draws things towards his side. The final character of Volume 2 is Gangly. He's 176 centimeters, 142 kilograms, and his summon date is the 3rd of May. His art shows off his artifact, his outfit, and his massive god. There's also a bald Gangly. That's fucked up, man. His trivia mentions his place as a 2nd year in Umamichi Academy, but he's repeated a grade twice. You dumbass. He also smells like fish and loves money and sex. Space. His sacred artifact is his hoe, which was gifted to him. With this, he can create a path through water. Basically, he's Fat Pig Moses. The bonus illustrations for this volume show some art based on the hiking event and some comments from characters based on events. My highlights are Bathroom's cheeks and Horny Gang. The glossary is shorter in this volume, mentioning something translated as alienation, don't know what it is, Tokyo Casino, Yoyogi Academy, the Berserkers, and the Missionaries. Next is Volume 3. The front illustration is of Kurogane, and the back illustration is of Zolotto, which has to be my favourite of all the illustrations. I love this pathetic man so much. Also plants. First is Ophion. Young Ophion is 200 centimeters, 195 kilograms, and old Ophion is 210 centimeters and 175 kilograms. And his summon day is the 14th of September. His art is more like a traditional ref sheet with different angles of Ophion in his usual outfit. It also shows his fully dragon form, but doesn't give an accurate size besides a comparison. His trivia mentions his massive ego, his creator and wife Uranome, and his clash with descendants of Kronos, which he lost. It also mentions that his broken fang remains in Olympus, being lost and buried somewhere. His sacred artifact, his egg, is already well talked about in-game. He got it from Uranome and can create any living being from Olympus besides her. Next up is the world's most pathetic man, Zolotto. He's 192 centimeters, 120 kilograms, and his summon day is the 16th of January. His art shows some cute little illustrations of him, mixed with detailed pictures of his accessories. His trivia mentions his siblings Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca, his placement as a student at Roppongi Academy, and that he cried so hard he lost both of his eyes. And he's just so pathetic. Oh, he just needs a hug. Oh my fucking god. His sacred artifact is his bracelet made from shells and star fragments. According to the translations, alongside its ability to grow and control plants, it allows him to manifest miracles related to plants native to El Dorado. It also mentions that he could one day use his brother Quetzalcoatl's artifact, which we actually see in one of his events. Next up is Tadatomo. No need to thank me again, babe. He's 163 centimeters, 63 kg, and his summer day is the 24th of October. His art shows off his outfit, accessories, some expressions, and most importantly, his art. According to his trivia, he thinks of his placement in the agents as a temporary lodging. It also mentions his massive respect towards his father and his attachment to his master. His sacred artifact is his scroll, which grants fire immortality to himself and others. The final character of Volume 3 is Shino. He's 162 centimeters, 75 kg, and his summon day is the 8th of August. His art shows off his sword, the back of his outfit, and an illustration showing the differences between him and Moritaka, which mentions that his breasts are bigger than Moritaka's. Good for him. His trivia mentions his existence as the discarded leftovers of the 8 Hakenshi and their orbs, his membership of the Outlaws Guild, and once again, his similarity to Moritaka. His artifact is his sword, which is already mentioned in his character memories in-game, so there's not much need to mention it here. For some reason, after Volume 2, there's no longer any extra editions such as comics or extra illustrations. It saves me time. This volume's glossary mentions the tycoons, connections, different worlds, exceptions, and shadows. Now, for the last volume, Volume 4. The front illustration is of Choji, and the back illustration is of Housamo, who has a tendency for being mostly naked, apparently. The first character is Ark. They're 164 centimeters, 55 kg, and their summon day / birthday is the 6th of January. Her art shows her artifact, some outfits, and some cute illustrations, one of them being of them and Asafa. The trivia mentions their affiliation with the Genociders, the history at Otomachi Academy, them being half French, and their regret of surviving the experiments at Otomachi. The artifact, the fiery chains, has already been talked about in the story, so once again I'm giving myself a break and skipping the part. Next up is Osei. In his adult form, he's 190 centimeters and 89 kg, and in his child form, is 145 centimeters and 39 kg. His summon day is the 7th of May. His art shows a full body of his adult form, headshots of both forms, his artifacts and gun, and 3 smaller illustrations of his young and adult forms, alongside another form. Holy shit, Osei. His trivia mentions his affiliation with Odin and the Agents Guild, and his appearance as either a child or adult. His artifact is his crown, which allows him to change his form and take over the role of another person, as he does with Odin. Next is Seth. He's 168 centimeters, 58 kg, and his summon date is the 16th of July. His art shows his front and back, his artifact, and his necklace. Not much to talk about here. Seth's trivia reveals his real name, Ash. His trivia also mentions that Gangly and Typhon take him out to pick up girls. His artifact is his staff, has the power to turn everything into a desert. It's possible to create rivers using this artifact by manipulating the sand. The last transient of this video is Fenrir. He's 174 centimeters, 110 kg, and his summon day is the 1st of March. His art shows his fluffy tail, side view, beast form, and tattoos. There's also a small illustration showing his bondage. Also, look at this little fella. His trivia mentions his affiliation with the Beast Tamers and his tamer Jambavan. He also makes silver accessories. His sacred artifact is his body, which has to be restrained by another sacred artifact, his bondage. Bondage is indestructible, only loosening when Fenrir breaks out of it. Once again, there's no extra additions, but we still have a final glossary, which is stacked. Oh my god. The final glossary mentions dragons, Solomon's 72 pillars, Otomachi Academy, Ueno Academy, the Beast Tamers, Shangri-La, the Old One's World, Utopia, Yog-Sothoth, Thor, the Fisher King, Yukimura, and the Witch of Orleans. Finally, we're done. That's the Summopedias. Are there any characters you want to see me cover in the next Summopedia video? Any subjects you'd like me to explain more? Leave them in the comments below. This was a crazy video to edit. This is the most in-depth editing I've done in a very long time. Wow. Well, hopefully I haven't made too many mistakes in this video, and I hope you all liked it. Obviously, like, subscribe. Really subscribe. If we get to 500, I will explode. I've been Miraz, and big men, big men, big men.